Have you ever stopped to wonder if that simple bowl of rice on your table might actually be silently driving up your blood sugar? Sounds unbelievable, right? Rice is such a comforting, familiar food, the centerpiece of so many family meals. But here's the shocking truth. The way most of us cook and eat rice could be quietly working against our health, especially after turning 60. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Don't worry, this video isn't about fear. It's about hope, and most importantly, about taking control of your health. Because the fact is, there are simple, science-backed ways to transform rice from a hidden blood sugar saboteur into a gut-friendly, blood sugar balancing, life-nourishing food. And the best part, you don't need expensive pills or fancy gadgets. All it takes are a few small changes in your daily cooking routine. After spending years in the world of senior health, I've seen countless people do everything right, taking their medications, following the doctor's advice, yet still struggling with rising blood sugar, stubborn belly fat, and digestive troubles. That's when it hit on we often overlook the most basic everyday habits, like the way we prepare our rice. So today I'm going to share with you actual 5 simple rice hacks that can make a real difference in your health. They're easy to apply, backed by research, and fit seamlessly into the meals you're already making. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Do you or someone you love eat rice almost every single day? Have you ever felt bloated or unusually tired after a meal, then brushed it off as just getting older? If so, share your story with me in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoy practical, easy-to-follow health tips like these, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our Elderly Wisdom Diaries. Now let's jump into the very first secret, one tiny shift that can dramatically change the way your body absorbs nutrients. And that is soaking your rice before cooking. I know what you're probably thinking. I've been rinsing and cooking rice my whole life. Why change what isn't broken? But here's the surprising truth. When you skip soaking, your body may miss out on some of the most important nutrients in the grain. You see, rice, whether white or brown, naturally contains something called phytic acid, a compound found in the outer layers of the grain. While harmless on its own, it acts like a little thief inside your digestive system. It binds to essential minerals like calcium, zinc, and iron, making it harder for your body to absorb them. And for older adults already facing challenges like weak bones, fatigue, or low immunity, that's no small matter. The good news, by simply soaking your rice, a habit our parents and grandparents practiced for generations, you can reduce phytic acid and unlock far more of rice's hidden nutrition. And here's another powerful benefit you might not expect. Soaking rice actually makes it much easier to digest. Over the years, many older adults I've worked with have told me the same story: constant bloating, uncomfortable gaze, or simply feeling too stuffed after a meal. But once they began soaking their rice beforehand, their meal times felt completely different, lighter, smoother, and far more comfortable. So how exactly should you do it? It's simple. After giving your rice a good rinse under cool water, let it rest in a bowl of warm water for about 30 to 60 minutes before cooking. This gives the grains time to soften, absorb water, and break down some of the compounds that are normally tough on the stomach. Even if you're in a rush, a quick 30-minute soak can make a noticeable difference. Just one word of caution: don't go overboard. Soaking for more than 3 hours, especially in warmer weather, can encourage bacteria to grow and spoil the rice. I'll never forget one woman I worked with. She was 72, always active, but constantly struggling with a sensitive stomach. When she decided to try soaking her rice, she thought it was too simple to matter. But within just a few weeks, the bloating and discomfort that had followed her for years almost completely vanished. She called it her little miracle. No medications, no supplements, no fancy gadgets, just water time and a bit of consistency. And the payoff: easier digestion, better nutrient absorption, and more steady energy after meals. It's such a small shift, yet the rewards are tremendous. So why not give it a try yourself? And if you're already soaking your rice, I'd love for you to share your experience in the comments. Has it made your meals more comfortable? Or if you've never tried it before, what's holding you back? Now, if you think soaking rice is a simple trick, just wait until you hear the next one. Because believe it or not, a single spoonful of vinegar can dramatically change the way your body responds to rice. Yes, vinegar. At first it might sound strange. You might even wonder, won't that ruin the taste? But stay with me, because this one hack is a game changer. Here's what happens behind the scenes. Vinegar, especially raw, natural apple cider, vinegar contains something called acetic acid. This little compound works like a traffic controller in your digestive system. It slows down how quickly your body breaks apart and absorbs carbohydrates. And when carbs break down more slowly, your blood sugar doesn't spike so dramatically after a meal. That's especially important once you're past 60, when the body becomes far more sensitive to sugar swings. And if you're dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this tip could be a lifesaver. In fact, one large study from Johns Hopkins University discovered that simply adding vinegar to rice lowered its glycemic index by an incredible 30%. That means a meal that could have sent your blood sugar soaring now lands much softer and steadier. I think back to a kind gentleman I met in his late 60s. He was pre-diabetic, frustrated, and tired of feeling drained after meals. When he began adding just 1 tablespoon of natural fermented vinegar to the cooking water for his rice, the change was remarkable. Within a couple of months, his fasting blood sugar had stabilized, his energy felt steady, and he finally felt like he had regained control over his health. So how can you try this at home? It couldn't be easier. When you're adding the water to your rice cooker or pot, just pour in 1 tablespoon of natural fermented vinegar. Apple cider vinegar works beautifully. That's all it takes. And know your rice won't end up tasting sour. In fact, many people say it tastes cleaner, lighter, and even more refreshing. Here's one important detail: always use natural fermented vinegar, not the cheap synthetic or flavored kind you find on some store shelves. The artificial stuff doesn't deliver the same health benefits, and for those with sensitive stomachs, it can even cause irritation. If you're trying this for the first time or know your digestion is delicate, begin with half a tablespoon and see how your body responds. The beauty of this little hack is how effortless it is. No prescriptions, no complicated diet rules, no sense of restriction. It's simply giving your body a gentle, natural boost. And over time, that tiny adjustment can add up to a big difference in your health. Now let's move on to the next surprising tip. One that involves a food you probably already have in your pantry: oatmeal. Yes, oatmeal. Most of us know it as a heart-healthy breakfast option that helps with cholesterol and digestion. But here's the exciting part. When you mix just a small amount of oatmeal into your rice, the benefits for your blood sugar, heart, and energy levels multiply in ways you'd never expect. Let me break it down. Oatmeal is rich in a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Think of beta-glucan as a soft, natural sponge traveling through your digestive system. It soaks up excess cholesterol, slows the breakdown of food, and helps keep your blood sugar from spiking too quickly after a meal. For older adults managing cholesterol, prediabetes, or high blood pressure, this kind of gentle support is pure gold. And the science backs it up. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health found that mixing a little oatmeal into rice slowed the rise of blood sugar by as much as 43%. That's not just a small tweak, that's a dramatic improvement in stability and long-term health. But here's the secret: it's all about the right balance. You don't need much. In fact, less is more. If you're cooking 1 cup of rice, about 150 grams, the golden ratio is just 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of plain dry oatmeal. That's roughly 5% to 7% of the total volume, enough to deliver the benefits without weighing down your digestion. Why not more? Because even though oatmeal is healthy, too much in one sitting can backfire, leading to bloating, gas, or heaviness, especially for seniors. Gentle balance is the key. A small daily dose gives your body exactly what it needs: smoother digestion, healthier cholesterol levels, and steady energy that lasts. I've seen this tiny adjustment make a huge difference in real lives. Take one woman I knew in her mid-70s. She was juggling high cholesterol and the early stages of diabetes. Once she began adding just a teaspoon of oatmeal into her rice each day, the shift was remarkable. That woman in her 70s kept it simple: just 1 teaspoon of oatmeal mixed into her daily pot of rice. After 3 months, not only did her lab results improve, but she also felt the difference in her everyday life. She described herself as clearer, lighter, and far more confident about her health. And let me add a quick but important reminder: if you have kidney issues, always talk with your doctor before increasing fiber or whole grains. Every body is unique, and your safety always comes first. Now that we've seen how rice can work hand in hand with oatmeal to support blood sugar and cholesterol, let's turn to another powerful ally, a golden spice that's been treasured for centuries. Just a tiny pinch can carry tremendous healing potential. I'm talking about turmeric. You've probably heard of turmeric in curries, teas, or even trendy lattes. But here's something you might not know: adding just a little turmeric to your rice could help your body use insulin more effectively and calm inflammation throughout your system. The secret lies in its active compound curcumin, which has been studied extensively for its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory powers. And one of the most exciting findings, curcumin can actually improve insulin sensitivity. Think of it this way: insulin is like a key, and your body's cells are the lock. Over time, many of us develop insulin resistance, meaning that the key becomes dull and doesn't fit as well anymore. That's when blood sugar levels climb, energy drops, weight creeps up, and more serious health issues may follow. But curcumin works almost like sharpening that dull key, making it effective again. In fact, research from the National Institutes of Health showed that consistent curcumin intake reduced insulin resistance by 23%, results that rival some mild diabetes medications. And the best part, all you need is a pinch. I remember one woman in her late 60s who had been living with type 2 diabetes for years. After checking with her doctor, she began sprinkling a small pinch of turmeric over her warm rice once a day. She didn't overhaul her entire diet. She didn't start a new exercise routine. She just added this one small step. Within a few months, her blood sugar readings were steadier, and her doctor was able to lower her medication dosage. The relief and joy on her face said it all. So how do you try this at home? It's incredibly simple. Once your rice is cooked and still warm, sprinkle 1 to 2 tiny pinches of pure turmeric powder on top and stir it in gently. The warmth helps release its natural oils and aroma, blending seamlessly into plain rice. If you're not used to the flavor, start with a very small amount and build up gradually as your taste buds adjust. One important note: make sure you're using pure turmeric powder, not curry powder. Curry blends often include turmeric, but they also contain salt and other spices that won't provide the same health benefits and may irritate your stomach in large amounts. Also, if you have gallbladder issues or take certain medications, check with your healthcare provider before making turmeric a daily habit, just to be safe. This is such a small, colorful habit, yet it carries powerful, long-lasting effects. Sometimes it's these simple daily choices that quietly transform our health in the most meaningful ways. This last tip is one that connects you directly to centuries of natural healing wisdom, and it might be the most surprising of all. Because unlike the other hacks, this one doesn't require adding a single ingredient. It's all about how you treat your rice after it's cooked. The method: cooling and reheating. That's it. No supplements, no extra cost, no complicated process, just a small shift in timing that unlocks remarkable gut healing benefits. Here's the fascinating science: when freshly cooked rice cools down, the starch inside undergoes a transformation. It turns into something called resistant starch. Unlike regular starch, which is digested quickly and floods your bloodstream with sugar, resistant starch resists digestion. Instead, it travels down into your large intestine, where it becomes fuel for the healthy bacteria living in your gut. And that's where the magic happens. Feeding those good bacteria means better digestion, less inflammation, and a stronger immune system. It's almost like giving your gut a gentle massage from the inside out. But the benefits don't stop there. Resistant starch helps steady blood sugar after meals, improves bowel regularity, and even supports better insulin use. For older adults, especially those dealing with digestive issues, blood sugar swings, or constipation, this one simple practice can feel like a lifesaver. I'll never forget working with a gentleman in his early 70s who had battled constipation and irritable bowel issues for years. Medications offered only limited relief, and he had nearly given up hope of feeling comfortable again. Then he tried this one change: cooling his rice after cooking, storing it properly, and reheating it before eating. Within just a few weeks, his digestion improved dramatically. He felt lighter, more regular, and finally at ease with his body. So how can you do this at home? After cooking your rice, leave the lid open and allow it to cool at room temperature for about 30 minutes to an hour. At that point, you can enjoy it right away, or for even greater benefits, store it in the refrigerator and reheat it gently later that day or the next. When reheating, warm it through until hot, but don't overcook. And remember, food safety matters. In warmer weather especially, don't leave rice sitting out too long. Refrigerate it promptly and aim to eat it within 1 to 2 days. Such a simple practice, yet the rewards run deep: improved digestion, steadier blood sugar, and a sense of inner balance that so many people long for. Just imagine with nothing more than a little time and planning, rice can shift from a neutral staple to one of the most nourishing foods on your plate. Now that we've explored all of 5 rice secrets, let's step back and see the bigger picture. On their own, each tip may feel small, but together they're transformative. Soaking your rice, adding a spoonful of vinegar, mixing in a touch of oatmeal, sprinkling turmeric, cooling and reheating, layered meal by meal, grain by grain, these habits create a powerful foundation for long-term health. And here's what I want you to remember most: it's never too late to start. You don't need to adopt all 5 tips at once. Pick one, whichever feels easiest, and begin there. As your body adjusts and you start to feel the difference, you can add more. Small steps often create the biggest breakthroughs. I've seen these little shifts help countless older adults feel stronger, move easier, and regain a sense of control over their meals and their lives. And you deserve that same freedom. If this video gave you something new to think about or inspired you in any way, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps support our work. And if you'd like to keep learning practical science-backed ways to care for your body, hit that subscribe button and join our Elderly Wisdom Diaries. We're here with simple tools and everyday strategies to help you thrive. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Did any of these rice habits surprise you? Have you already tried one of them before? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else. Take care of yourself, stay hopeful, and remember, you've got this. I'll see you in the next video.